Hi guys, Martin here, Man City Van TV, and welcome to part two of our Friday night social, where we are going to talk all about the failed Newcastle United takeover bid. So just before we go into a couple of bits about the Newcastle, I'm just going to go into the comments and say hello to a few people. Sean Fogarty is on again. Hello, buddy. Ruby Toblonda is joining us. Jay Fresh Stunner says, hurry up, Martin. Are you mixing pink drinks? No, I'm not mixing pink drinks. You cheeky devil. Mingy Wong, Martin wearing those pink shorts again. I'm actually not. I'm wearing my black three-quarter short sort of things. Very warm over in England here today. It's 30 odd degrees. Frosty Nut is on again. And there he is. Hello, Chris. I think you've got a bit of a fang.
Hey, Frosty.
Hello, Frosty. Hello. Even though I'm a City fan, I would love to have seen Newcastle to get the money. Well, we'll talk about that. The Premier League must have seen them in the cash report and been like, we can't have them competing. Well, before we go into it, I'm going to read a little bit about Newcastle takeover. The Saudi-backed consortium pulled out of the proposed £300 million takeover of Newcastle United on Thursday. So it was after a prolonged process, the Saudi-backed consortium attempted to buy the Newcastle United club failed, and they look at why. There was a statement released on the Thursday by the Saudi-backed consortium trying to buy it, that the little document, 17 weeks this took, 17 weeks, and it didn't happen. Now, this all started on January the 25th, that Sky Sports News confirmed that the Saudi Arabia Sovereign Wealth Fund is in talks to buy Newcastle. On April the 14th, sources say that the PCP Capital Partners has agreed a deal to buy Newcastle with the price agreed close to $300 million. 2 days later, on the 16th of April, that the partners lodged paperwork with the Premier League with concerns over Saudi Arabia's human rights record and said to be unlikely to derail the deal. April the 21st, one of the biggest issues the biggest step forward for this takeover at the time was that the PCP Capital Partners paid a deposit and exchanged contracts with Mike Ashley. I think he got in the region, I think it was 15 to 17 million pound non-refundable deposit. Wow, bet he's smiling right now. April the 22nd, BN Sport urges the Premier League to block the sale of the Newcastle Saudi-backed consortium. April the 24th, the government is urged by the Labour MPs to take a role in scrutinising the takeover. By the end of April, Maurizio Pochettino was reported to be on the verge of taking over. And then on May the 12th, it started to hit the buffers. The Premier League refuses to comment on reports linking the Saudi-backed consortium with illegal TV streaming rights, as we know will be on sports. May the 29th, Premier League Chief Executive Richard Masters says that the league is not working to any specific timeline regarding the takeover. Then it went into June. A World Trade, the WTO report finds prominent Saudi nationals promoted illegal broadcasting, raising doubts of members of the consortium. June the 17th, Newcastle received a new takeover bid worth £350 million from Henry Maurice, the CEO of US TV company Clear TV. June the 23rd, the Saudi Arabia announced a crackdown on websites illegally streaming sporting events to try and solve the key issues holding up the completion of the takeover. July, the government distances itself from making any decisions regarding the takeover. And then on July the 30th, yesterday, the Saudi Arabia's public investment fund, PCP Capital Partners, headed by Amanda Staveley and the Reuben brothers, withdrawn from the process to buy Newcastle. It says one source close to the Saudi-backed group has told Sky Sports News they were happy as recently as mid-April. There were no red flags, no major issues regarding the owners and the directors test. And then things went south from there. Now, there's just loads and loads of other things. Our friends over at the Magpie channel have done so much more as well. I must excuse Chris Dad's dropped out. Chris is going to be in and out. He's going to try and get his Wi-Fi sorted out. So you may see Chris come back again at some point. But for now, it's just myself, Carl, and Alan. you may see Chris come in and out. So let's get into this. We've got to come. Pado, did some clubs object to the takeover? The reports have come out today that Liverpool and Tottenham, believe it or not, Liverpool and Tottenham were objected to this takeover. Now, here's my question. Manchester City were allowed to be taken over by an Abu Dhabi group. This Saudi Arabian group was going to take over at our neighbours over the road, Manchester United. There was no issues regarding illegal streaming or anything at all that Manchester United were going to take over. So here's my question. Is it political why this takeover failed? And then my second question will be, are Manchester City the last club to get the seat at the Premier League's top table? So let's start with Alan.
I think it's a combination of a few things that have gone wrong. I think I put it at the Premier League's doorstep on this one because there's no way it should take 17 weeks to get a finalised deal. They've not said a word for 17 weeks on the ethics of the fit and proper owners test has never come out and said yes or no at anything. And to me, it's time's killed the deal here. The Saudis have just got fed up and think, nah, not doing this anymore because this is getting nowhere fast. I personally think that the Premier League and the media, and they're not innocent in this as either, innocent. And I don't want to be incorrect by saying that. I personally think that the media and the Premier League never wanted this to happen in the first place as far as Saudi Arabia coming and buying a football club in the Premier League, let alone UEFA. I just don't think they want anyone to join the elite, but I think it's something else there as well in relation to that as well. I think you know what I'm talking about, but I don't know if I'm sure I'm allowed to say it on TV. But I personally think there is that card in it. You only have to look at the media this week with us, again with Deschegel. I think they're after getting rid of Sheikh Mansour out of Man City, and they'll do anything they can to get rid of Man City out of the Premier League. And I think it's an agenda with the Premier League and the media. So I hold it, they're responsible in my eyes.
Okay. Carl?
Yeah, I agree with Alan. This is purely, it's not economic. So this is not economic. This isn't about somebody owns money or can have money. It's not economic. This is purely political. Given the situation with Saudi Arabia and all the stuff that we allegedly hear in the news about it. But also it's fear.
Yeah,
it's fear, Martin, Andy, and Chris, right? You have the potential of a massive royal family investing billions, not just in the club and players, but in the facilities and the environment, right? To challenge the cartel again. And allegedly, we've heard that Liverpool and Tottenham were part of the gang that drove the Premier League to dilly-dally on this decision to the point where the Saudis kind of packed up and said, no more, we're done.
Not dilly-dally, they've just left it to one side. To me, they've left it to one side and refused to comment on it and allowed time to kill the deal rather than them saying no.
Right.
Because if they say no, they'll get accused of all sorts. So they've allowed time to kill that deal.
Yep. So it's political. There seems to be a penchant or a drive towards particular regions of the world owning clubs within Europe that it leaves a sour taste in people's mouths. I can guarantee you, if this was an American company looking to buy Newcastle, it would be done tomorrow.
Yeah, 100%. Exactly. I agree with you.
100%. If the owner of, let's say, Dallas Cowboys comes in and says, yep, here's 300 million. We want to buy Newcastle. Believe in the club. Believe in the fans. It's great. It's a great club. Here's 300 million. Boom, boom, boom. It's done. No questions. Now,
absolutely.
Right? That's what will happen. Now, nobody's talking about the fact that we have issues with human rights in the U.S., racism in the U.S., right? Riots in the U.S. There are issues around that. No one's talking about that. But all of a sudden, when it comes to money from a certain part of the world, these all get brought up. It's political, and it's a shame, in my opinion.
There's a clue in what everyone says about us. All the opposition fans always mention that, as Carl just mentioned, the racism card. Every single time with the human rights scenario, they come out with all this bull. I heard the Sky on YouTube last night. The Sky presenter mentioned human rights and talking anything but football.
Yeah,
anything but football, and I think it's disgusting. I feel sorry for Newcastle fans. I really, really do. And we've been there, and we know what it's like. Newcastle fans are great fans, and they deserve a bit of success. And this is horrible for them.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Chris, what do you think?
Yeah, I totally agree with the lads. I mean, if you're a Newcastle fan now, you've got to be gutted. You see the dream future ahead of you,
Yeah.
and it's gone. And possibly, they might come back again. Who knows? But this is all about protectionism. That's all it's to do with. There's 4 Champions League spots, mate. There's 3 cartel clubs in our league, and those top 4 places are for Manchester United, Liverpool, Arsenal, and another, which was Chelsea. And now we've seen to, because of the way Arsenal have been run, have taken Arsenal's spot. It's a crying shame, mate. What can you say? I'd hate to be a Newcastle fan at the minute when you have, I know it's ridiculous to be talking about we'll be going out and buying Mbappe. We know it's a longer project than that. But as somebody has said in the comments, and the lads have said here, this is if it was a white businessman from America coming and buying Newcastle, I'm sure it would have been done and dusted.
Correct.
Yeah. I'm just thinking, people are asking just Key and I go here said, this is an episode just all on Newcastle Failed Takeover. It is and it isn't. We're basically trying to talk about how Manchester City, the last team to get to that top table in the Premier League, for somebody to, because with this takeover at Newcastle, it tells me the dreams of an Everton or a West Ham or someone, a really good club like Newcastle, West Ham, Everton, they're never ever going to get the dream of breaking into the top 4 by being taken over and winning the lottery like we did. We as City fans have never denied we did not win the lottery in 2008. Of course we did. We know that. We've never denied that, even though you might hear different on Twitter that we're spoiled and we didn't exist since 2008. That's just because people are ignorant and don't understand the history of football, and they think football began in 1992. But what they need to realise is Newcastle are a great club.
Yeah.
One thing I will say is, will they stop the Newcastle fans? No, because they'll still be there in the droves. But it tells me that the rest of the Premier League are scared. They are scared of another Manchester City happening. They don't want it. They don't want another team knocking a Man United or a Chelsea or a Liverpool out of that top 4 spot. Because that's what would have happened if Newcastle had been taken over by this shape. They would have been in that top 4. And City, I mean, you look at City, since they took over and they got into the top 4, they've never been out of it. So you can say now we are a firmly established top 4 club. And that's what Newcastle would have been. So for me, that means Newcastle, either a Man United or an Arsenal or a Chelsea, not Arsenal, because Arsenal, they're already out the top 4. I think we took Arsenal space, didn't we? But then Newcastle's have to take a United, a Chelsea's, a Liverpool spot. I know it's not that easy to get taken over and buy players. I know it's not FIFA, but there's a damn good chance it would have happened.
Yeah.
But
I think we've got to look at also this streaming, the piracy problem that they had. I think that was a huge issue as well. I think that they were streaming off Qatar's Premier League feed for probably about 10 years. and that would have cost a lot of money. And there's a lot of resentment between those two countries. As you know, we know they've got the money, but there was a massive problem there as well. But I personally don't think the Premier League and the media have helped in this. They didn't want this happening from day one. You remember when it first came out, Martin, on Sky News? I was watching it on YouTube over here. The first 3 days, all the Sky Sports News were talking about was human rights problems within Saudi Arabia. That is all they didn't talk about football. They didn't talk about anything else. All they talked about was this human rights thing, which they talk about us as well, with the same things. They were obsessed. To me, that is racist.
Well, the thing about it is, yes, there are human rights issues in Saudi Arabia. Let's not say there aren't, right? But there are also human rights issues in many parts of the world, right? In China, even in the US, there are human rights issues. That's why we have all these protests that are going on right now because of human rights issues, equality, right? So it happens all over the whole world. So why can't we say, hey, FSG, you're an American company. Let's block you from owning Liverpool because of human rights issues. And let's not forget the baseball issue that you're having with the Red Sox and the alleged cheating scandal. Or let's talk about Manchester United, the Glazers. Why aren't you also part from having owning a club because you come from the US? Or Wolves from China. What's going on there? Or West Bromwich Albion from China. What is going on? So let's be clear. This is beyond just the ordinary, the directors aren't clean. There's something else going on here. And they're trying to set a precedent. But I'll tell you this, it's not going to last. Because capital will call the shots. Who has the money? Who has the capital? Trust me, it's the Middle East, it's China and the like. And over years and time, this is all going to come back. They think they can protect the little cartel for this time. They're smoking something else. It's not going to happen. They're going to come back.
I think the Newcastle fans have been shafted. I'm not sympathetic with the people that run Newcastle because don't forget they're one of the hatred hate as far as that. But as far as the fans are concerned, I feel really sorry for them. Hey?
9.
9, sorry. It comes to a point where Newcastle fans I feel really sorry for them, to be honest with you. They're great fans.
Of course they are. Here's a question, Chris. If Manchester United wanted to have these Saudis take over, would they have had the same problem?
Of course not. Oh, of course not, mate. No. Like I said, those top 4 spaces are reserved for Manchester United, Liverpool, and it's supposed to be Arsenal and another team. That's how it's supposed to have happened. But because
City is us now, I think we've taken Arsenal's spot now.
Oh, of course we have, but that's not how it's meant to be. Not as the cartel see it. And Arsenal are very vociferous about how City go about their business, and they have been since Wenger's days when he said we were financial doping and all that. It's a sad state of affairs, really, that football has turned into what it is. Because when I was a kid, I don't remember anything like the politics that are going on now. It's a real disappointment. And on that point there, Martin. See, on that point, Martin.
You mean Paul Murray's, Chris?
Yeah.
Well, it says here we have last club at the top table. The Rags and the Dippers would never allow another club joining and indeed surpassing them. We know from recent events just how jealous others are.
Yeah, on that,
it's also a racist thing as well, definitely.
Go on, Chris.
I agree there with Paul's comment, but I don't think we're eating at the same table as the other teams, mate. We're not welcome at that table, and a smear campaign has been going on for a decade, and a witch hunt has gone at UEFA. They don't want us there, and if they can basically get Sheikh Mansour to think, sod this, I've had enough of it, that's their goal. I think that's their goal. But I think the owners are quite happy to fight them, and it'd be great if a Saudi Arabian business took over at Newcastle or an Everton or a club of that sort of stature. Yeah, mate. Yeah, Wolves. and we're challenging. There'd be nothing better than a top four of City, Newcastle, Everton, and say Wolves. And these cartel clubs were put right back in the right back.
Mate, can you imagine the uproar on TV? Oh my God!
Absolutely, that would be the best thing that could happen, because these clubs, or the owners of these clubs, are bullies, and they've done this since the 80s, Martin. This has been going on a long time, 40 years. This is how they operate. It doesn't matter who's in charge of them. That's how they operate.
The other part that really is the Premier League is supposed to promote not just football, but also development of the game in England, correct? That's part of the goal, right? So they're going to invest millions of pounds in the community in Newcastle, which is struggling at this point in time with the COVID-19 and jobs and infrastructure. They're struggling, and they just basically turn their back on this opportunity. It's incredible. It just, and they're going to claim the high moral ground. It's absolute nonsense, if you ask me.
I'm disgusted with the Premier. I'm disgusted with the Premier League. To me, it's purely down to them.
Well, Rubitor says the Newcastle fans have nothing to do with how their board went against us, which is a very, very good point there. I would love to see a proper club like Newcastle build and let their fans smile like we did.
Yeah.
And then you've got Cafe de Casual here. It is sad that UK football is so dirty and corrupt, which it is. Now, I've got to make a point up here. I'm going to go back to something. I've not seen this, but there was apparently, when I can find it, Centurion's 100 points. True Geordie came out and apologised to City fans. Has anyone seen that?
No.
And if anyone doesn't know, True Geordie has his own channel called Kickoff on YouTube, and I'm blocked by him. So I can't, no, I am blocked by him. He went on a blocking spree of every Manchester City fan possible. And we were apparently he's come out and apologised to Man City fans. I'd love to see that.
Why has he apologised to us?
Oh, he used to absolutely rip into us and call us cheats. And
I know that, yeah.
Everything. And he was against Saudi, the Arabs being in charge of us, and Sheikh Mansour. And apparently, a lot of people are very happy today that they didn't get taken over because of that. But we can't let one person who thinks he's huge, a superstar, because he's got a personal agenda against Manchester and Manchester City fans. And even though he'll deny he's never on an agenda against Manchester City, he has got a huge agenda, an issue against City and the fans. And if he has apologised, then fair play to him. I really hope he has done. And Colin Pollett says, yes, he has done. Yes, he did. He apologised during the Liverpool vs City game recently and was talking about me and said sorry or something, talking bad about us. Well, if he has, then great. That's absolutely great. Looks like we've lost Chris again. I did warn you, Chris is having a nightmare with his Wi-Fi. Carl, go on, mate.
Yeah, I just think about if you had a Newcastle backed by a rich owner, you had a City backed by a rich owner, you have Arsenal backed by a billionaire. So Liverpool and Manchester United, Chelsea and Wolves. Imagine the quality of the game in the Premier League. We would dominate Europe. I mean, you could have a different top four every year. Frankly, you could have a different top four every single year, which improves the quality of the game in England. Why won't the Premier League look at that? Why is that not a good thing for football in England? With jobs, infrastructure, all the revenue that comes in from the taxes, about investors who are investing in money. That's all. Oh, wait, doesn't the UK sell arms to Saudi Arabia? Don't we sell arms to
So do the States.
Right. So what are we talking about here? It's weird. I'm
just going to bring Chris back in. Are you back with us, Mr. Baker?
Yeah, I'm trying something else now, mate.
Okay. Well, Keon Sigerson says, they're getting scared, me, Ruby, coming up very soon. We need to make sure we inform on the night. Which leads us very nicely into part 3, where we are going to talk about the Real Madrid preview. Now, I will do this in 3 parts. Normally, I would probably try and carry on, but we'll do this in 3 parts tonight. But in part 3, part 2, I think we've covered everything we can about Newcastle. I will say the Magpie channel, Matt and Kegger, they are looking. They have said they will come on. That was a bit posh. Come on to the channel over the weekend at some point and have a little chat with us about the failed takeover. And we can get a Newcastle fan's perspective. I know Matty's been very busy. He's been on the BBC News, he's been on Sky, he's been on BBC Newcastle, he's been on everything for the last 2 days. He's like a mini celebrity up there on the Magpie channel. A great channel. Go and check them out. They do a great job, those lads up there. Yours truly's even been on their channel, and so has Andy. Go up there and give them a listen. Great set of lads. But what we're going to do is we're going to have a chat in part 3 all about the game a week today. Manchester City live at the Etihad against Real Madrid. No quarantining will happen that day, I assure you. We might have a chat about that as well. Why are Real Madrid allowed to play when I'm sat in quarantine and I've just come back from Spain? What's going on with that? Have you got something against me or something? I don't know. But anyway, we'll have a chat in part 3. Check out part 1 when we talk all about the busy transfer window ahead for Manchester City. Part 2, we've had a short chat all about the failed Newcastle United takeover by Amanda Staveley and the brothers over in Saudi Arabia that were going to become the biggest, richest club in the world. But unfortunately, it's not happened, as you've said. Probably down to a little bit of politics by the cartel. But we'll have to wait and see. They'll all come out in the wash, no doubt. But go back and check out part 1. That's Carl. That's Chris. He's been in and out. He's doing the okey-dokey. We've got Alan over in Melbourne with us. Come and join us for part 2. We'll be live just before midnight. It will be a Real Madrid preview. We are going to talk about the Real Madrid game. Also in the comments, give us your Real Madrid lineup. Who would you play? Does Phil Foden play? Does Cancelo play at left back? We'll get into that in part 3. Yeah, you aren't an elite athlete, Martin. I never said I was an athlete. Well, whoa, where did I get? I never said I wasn't an elite.
You're not an elite anything.
Is that because I'm in? I'm in
Martin is an elite vlogger. That's what he is, right? So give him a chance, man.
I'm an elite vlogger. I wouldn't even say that. Good stuff, lads. Thank you, Captain.
Low standards, Carl.
You 4 are top lads. Thanks for doing this. No problem. We'll be back just before midnight. We're going into Saturday, the 1st of August, with the Real Madrid preview. So come and join us. Give us your lineup for next week's game. And the next question will be, can City win, finally, the UEFA Champions League? We'll find out very, very soon. But I'll tell you what, I've got a sneaky feeling you're going to be surprised by some of our comments in part 3. Come and join us very, very soon. Take care.